Yo, what is up, guys? XRP is at $1.09 right now in CoinMarketCap. Our first tweet comes from the Crypto Squire. Rumor alert. Rumors suggest President Trump could sign the Clarity Act as early as next week. If true, it would mark a historic moment for XRP and crypto in the United States. Our next tweet comes from Zave Crypto. Senator Bill Haggerty on Clarity. We will get it done because we have to get it done. The real question per Haggerty, can Congress navigate the political calendar to pass it sooner rather than later? Let's watch this video.
It's done first, and I've heard the same thing about Genius in terms of the consequential nature of it, but it's done. Again, took a lot of work and a great team to make that happen. And with respect to Clarity, Rebecca, we will get it done because we have to get it done. I just think that the question is, can we navigate the political climate right now? Can we navigate the political climate and calendar, I think, to be more specific, in a way that gets it done sooner than later? I hope we can.
That makes sense. Well,
Smash that subscribe button and hit that like button if you believe XRP will reach $3 again this year. Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Square. Coinbase CEO speaks. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says the Clarity Act will be good for both American consumers and banks. It's time to move forward. Our next tweet comes from Bank XRP. Justin A16Z, head of government affairs, Colin McCune, says the Clarity Act is not dead. Expects a Senate vote in the near term. Says a bipartisan group of senators and House members remain engaged with the White House aligned on priorities. Let's watch this video.
Passed and push this through. I'm really curious your thoughts on this. Is the bill sunk, or do you think President Trump is going to be able to actually finally get this through Congress? What's your updated outlook on the Clarity Act here?
Well, first and foremost, the bill is not sunk. I do believe that the Senate is going to move forward on a vote in the near future, which I think is going to be a big moment. But if I had a nickel for every time that I read a headline or someone else in the industry was telling me that the bill is dead, I think I would be a very, maybe not a rich man, but I'd be wealthier than I am today. It has died and been, brought back to life, it seems like a million times. So I will very firmly say the bill is not dead. Does that guarantee that the bill is 100% going to happen? There are no guarantees in Washington, period. So I do think, though, that we're in very strong position. I think there is a really, really strong group of bipartisan members in the Senate and in the House. And certainly we know very well where the president stands on these issues. And I think everyone is still at the table and everyone's working to try and wrap this up, hopefully before the August recess in the next couple of weeks.
Our next tweet comes from Zave Crypto. Big banks lobbying against the Clarity Act to crush crypto competition. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong calls it out on Fox Business. Bill's draft favor banks, undermining Trump's pro-crypto push. Let's watch this video.
Got the Genius Act passed into law, which actually did enable stablecoin rewards to happen. The banks had their own concerns, and we reached a good outcome in the Genius Act. And now the banks really are coming and trying to undermine the president's crypto agenda. I mean, these are the same banks that, debanked him and his family, right? And they want to come in and say that Americans should not be able to actually earn more money on their money. They're trying to protect their own profit margins, taking money out of the pockets of hardworking average Americans and putting it into the coffers of these big banks that are hitting record profits. And so our view is that there should be a level playing field where banks and crypto companies can lean into stablecoin legislation as an opportunity. And that includes paying rewards to Americans so that they can earn more money on their money.
Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Square. A historic bill, Patrick McHenry says the Clarity Act is the most significant technology bill since the Telecommunications Act of 1996, a defining moment for XRP and crypto in the United States. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Big breaking. Republican Brian Steele announces, I'm optimistic that we get the Clarity Act across the line next week. It's absolutely essential that the United States sets the gold standard for regulations in the digital asset space. Let's watch this video.
All right, let me ask you about Senate Republicans meeting with President Trump yesterday, hoping to get his stamp of approval on the updated language for the Clarity Act. The House sent it to the Senate a year ago, and Senator Cynthia Lummis was with me here earlier in the week, and she said that this bill will likely be brought to the floor in the next week, Congressman. A lot of people writing on this and business writing on this. You and other members of the Financial Services Committee are in New York to hold a field hearing on this bill. What can you tell us about the Clarity Act?
This is our opportunity to put real and substantive legislation on the floor and provide regulatory clarity in the digital assets space. Again, this is an example of the House doing its job. We passed this now approximately a year ago. The Senate has been struggling to move this forward. I'm optimistic that we get this across the line next week in the United States Senate. It's absolutely essential that the United States sets the gold standard for regulations in the digital asset space, that we unlock so much capital, human capital and financial capital that will come into these markets in the United States of America in a regulatory regime that protects consumers. Clarity does that. It's passed the House. It's time for the Senate to act.
Well, I mean, the Senate is wrangling with Democrats over the language on ethics, Congressman. You know that.
Well, individuals that are concerned about the broader ethics reforms, and I think that there is a need to look at this, actually should be supportive of the bill. If an individual is concerned about how meme coins were treated under President Biden's appointment of Gary Gensler, all the more reason to move forward Clarity, to put a regulatory structure in place to make sure that we're regulating good and bad actors. The good actors in the space want the bad actors to be regulated. We all want the bad actors out. The Clarity Act provides a regulatory environment to be able to do just that. And so the individuals that grandstand on the ethics side should be more supportive than anyone else about moving Clarity across the line.
Our next tweet comes from Ripple Zitty. Just in, Wall Street doubles down on XRP. Our next tweet comes from Ripple XRP. Update: the Clarity Act would prevent any elected official from issuing or promoting a digital asset. Let's watch this video.
Hey, Carl. Well, yeah, look, Senate leadership, they really want to have a vote on this rules of the road crypto bill in the next few weeks before they break for their August recess. Big question right now, whether they're going to be able to get enough Democratic support to pass. And that is increasingly hinging on whether the bill is going to put in place some strict limits on the president's ability to profit from crypto. Now, Democrats, they've been pushing for this ethics language for months, but it's become even more pressing just in the last few weeks when President Trump's financial disclosures showed him making roughly $1.2 billion from crypto-related ventures alone during his first year in office. I spoke yesterday with Senator Mark Warner. He supports the goals of the broader bill, but he said that it is critical for lawmakers to limit the ability for elected officials, including the president, to profit from crypto.
The president has made billions in his family off of this. We're going to suddenly go forward and say, and elected officials can take advantage of that situation going forward. I think that would be pretty outrageous.
Senator Bernie Moreno, who met with Trump yesterday on the bill, said it would prevent any elected official, including the president, from issuing or promoting a digital asset, although it would not apply that restriction to other members of the family, including, of course, Trump's family. The lawmakers are still negotiating over the language of the bill. An updated draft was expected this week, but has yet to be made public. And of course, guys, as we know, the devil's always in the details. So we're keeping a close eye out for that to see how Democrats and industry respond and exactly what kind of vote we might expect later this month or in early August.
Our next tweet comes from Ripple Zitty. Justin, DTCC's multi-chain future just increased the odds of the XRP ledger. Our next tweet comes from Zave Crypto. The path for the Clarity Act just got a lot clearer. Kristen Smith says the holdup isn't crypto, it's ethics language needed to win Democratic support. Trump is reportedly negotiating a compromise with Democrats. If a deal is reached, the Senate could vote as early as next week. Let's watch this video.
Thank you so much for being here. What are your thoughts on Clarity and the ethics conversation underway right now?
Well, good morning, Maria, and thank you for having me back. I agree with Faryar. The ethics conversation is absolutely essential. This is one of those tricky issues where it's really not the crypto industry's place to decide what that deal is. But I've met with members of Congress, senators on both sides of the aisle, and especially for Democrats, they need to have some sort of ethics language in this bill in order to be able to vote for it. So I give credit to President Trump for entertaining this concept. I know he had a meeting at the White House yesterday to discuss what this provision could look like. And I think, this is a president who knows the art of the deal. If we can get the president and the Democrats to agree on this issue, I think that will break the logjam, and we will be able to get the votes needed to get this bill through the Senate sometime next week or the following.
Real quick, if this helped, press the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to people who want the truth, not hype. And press the subscribe button if you're done being sold the moon. I've already got your next one right here. Go!